I want to talk about the transfer of learning, and that's a jargony term, or learning transfer are jargony terms in learning and development for if somebody learns something in a training course, can they actually apply that to the job afterwards? So can they transfer what they've learned to the job? And it's a really important part of learning design because it's the link between the event, the activity, and performance. So ultimately, my bias is we want to make sure that people can improve their performance and employees and organizations can achieve better results. And the bridge between that is skill development, but then being able to apply it to their job. So when we think about the transfer of learning, there's three instances where we can plan for it: before, during, and after the learning event or the learning program. During the course, there's a bunch of things, and the most important probably is practice. Often we'll teach a concept or we'll introduce something. Maybe there'll be a short discussion, but they don't actually have the opportunity to apply it in the course itself. So practice, that can look like scenarios, case studies, role plays, even time to just pause and reflect on it. So that's practice, or its application, kind of taking what I've heard here and applying it to me in my own situation. The other thing we can do is performance support. There's another learning and development jargony word. So a performance support is, what are the tools and the resources we can provide them to help them when they're in their job, to help them to support their performance. So an example would be a job aid, like a step-by-step 1, 2, 3, 4. Here are the steps to, do this task, a checklist, that type of thing. Maybe it's a quick reference, which is a short kind of front and back page with a summary of the key concepts. So remember these tips when you're answering the phone in a call center or something. So creating performance support, job aids, checklists, things like that they can use on the job, but introducing them and using them actively in the course itself makes them become familiar with them, so that when they return to the job, they know what they need to use right away. So having performance support tools and using them is another way of supporting that transfer of learning. And then finally, and I know in so many courses we have action plans, and sometimes it feels a little bit dry and whatever, but I do think that they're very important. So even if it's as basic as, what am I going to start doing, stop doing, and continue doing? So again, it's that opportunity to take what I've learned and to apply it to myself, internalize it. And it sets the stage for, oh, right, it's not good enough just to show up. I need to actually now do something with what I've learned and apply it to my job. So several things you can do during the course to make sure that they're going to be able to apply and transfer that learning. And the analogy that I'd like to use is a drop in water. So the drop is the learning, and the ripple effects and how far they reach out is the transfer. So how is that learning being applied? And if you think really small, just of the event, imagine a drop of water going into a bucket. Those ripples only go out so far. Versus if you think more broadly in your learning design and you think of a pond instead of a bucket, when that water drops in, those ripples can have a far more greater reaching effect. So I hope the analogy helps, and good luck with transfer of learning.